Hello, gentlemen, and welcome back to yet another episode of Gentlemen's Club Whiskey. I am your host, Mr. Mark Antomate, the pontiff of Japanese whiskey and your Tokyo godfather here. Let me go ahead and put in the plug for the book because you know I got to do it. 50 Japanese Whiskeys Tasted in Japan, available now on Amazon.com in hardcover, paperback, and ebook format. Make sure you go and get your copy now. Today's episode, we are going to be reviewing the Johnnie Walker Red Label. You see, I got a little special edition packaging here that I bought here in Tokyo, Japan. This one came with a Kirin sparkling lemon water, and you got a special edition of the Johnnie Walker Red Label here. Let me be clear, this is the same juice that's inside of a regular Johnnie Walker Red Label. Let me be clear, this is a special edition that is celebrating 200 years since the establishment of Johnnie Walker. Now, this one came out in 2020, and I bought it back then in 2020, and I've just been holding on to this for the absolute longest. Finally have the time now to crack this open and do a review over it. I actually did a review over this one before, back when Gentlemen's Club Whiskey used to be part of the Gentleman Masterclass YouTube channel before I separated the two. But that past review was so old and so wooden, even for casuals. I don't know why anybody would want to drink this whiskey. It is complete and utter crap, so to speak. Trust me, you guys don't want to see that crap. I had to go ahead and delete that. And we're just doing the whole video over again from scratch. So let's get right into it. I got my notes in front of me, so forgive me if I look over here real quick just so that I can read this off. Johnnie Walker was established in 1820. Hence that in 2020 it's the 200-year anniversary, and that's why you have this special labeling here. But now this brand is owned by the big spirits and alcohol conglomerate Diageo. And Diageo is famous for making other such spirit and alcohol brands like Smirnoff, Ciroc, and even the Guinness beer that is world famous, to name a few. Red Label went into production and started being sold in 1945, which is my mother's birth year. It has nothing to do with with this whiskey, however, but I just wanted to throw that out there, even though bigger things happened within that year, to say the least. But 1945, as it pertains to me, is my mother's birth year. Johnnie Walker is the most sold brand of Scotch whiskey in the world, and it's the most sold brand of whiskey in general in the world outside of India, because you know India is such a big population with over 1 billion people living there, and they are really big consumers of whiskey, but they mostly consume their own whiskey. So if we're being honest with ourselves, the number one, the number two, the number three, and the number fourth most sold whiskey in the world is all Indian whiskey, but this is intra-India. But if we were to go outside of India, India's side, Johnnie Walker is going to be the number one most sold whiskey. And just to put it out there so that you guys know and don't guess, if you want to know what the most sold whiskey in the world is, it's the McDowell's brand of whiskey from India. And I've had it before. I don't think I've ever reviewed it on this channel, but I should. But that is the most sold whiskey. But outside of India, Johnnie Walker. And for Scotch, Johnnie Walker. So we are having the Johnnie Walker Red Label. Why is this famous? Well, people drink this because of the name recognition, because of the popularity of the brand. And this one right here, the Red Label, they especially drink this because of the affordability of it. If recollection serves me correctly, when I reviewed this like 6 or 7 years ago, I thought it was absolute crap, because any whiskey that you can't just drink straight, well, you can drink it straight. You can drink anything straight. But I'm saying if you were to drink it straight and it just tastes like absolute crap, and the only way that it could be tolerable is if you were to mix it with something either like in a highball or with whiskey and soda to make it taste like something, I think that whiskey is crap. So we're going to retry this again 7 years later. My palate is a lot more experienced than what it was back then. Let's see if I still think the same of it today as I did back then. So let's go ahead and crack this one open. And let's have a quick pour. I don't know how long this one has been aged, because this is a no age statement whiskey. They don't put any age statement on the bottle here, on the labeling. So you could just assume that it's been aged for 3 years, and that's why the price is so cheap. The color, if you hold it up to the light, I got it up against that white wall back there, that white background. The color is kind of light. So, you know, it looks like it hasn't been aged for too long, but it could actually be longer than 3 years. This was my first crack of this bottle, by the way. I just broke the seal just now. The smell of it, not as harsh as I remember. I wouldn't call it peated, but if we could put some smoke on this, let's say on a scale from 1 to 10, I would say it's a 1 out of 10 that you could smell some smoke that you would expect from a Scotch. Which is probably not really smoke at all. It's probably more or less just some hard wood, some oak. And you're just, well, you, meaning me, is just confusing it with smoke. It's a very wooded smell. But not bad at all. Coming right out of the bottle without letting it sit for like 5 minutes, you know, to let it dilute just a little bit and let it aerate, the word that I created, you know, the oxidize a little bit. This is not half bad. It's not a strong alcohol smell on this at all. Let me check something on the bottle. I'm assuming that this is 40% ABV, but I could be wrong. I'm absolutely right. 40% ABV, comes inside of a 700 milliliter size bottle. So this is not bad at all. Very tolerable smell. I wish I had my old review that I can reference, but I went ahead and I threw that thing away. Not bad. This is actually not as bad as I remember it to be. And in fact, I'm even going to go out on a limb and say it's a lot better than what it was. A lot better. Could that be because of my more experienced tongue? More than likely. But the fact that I'm drinking this straight and that you can drink it straight, I think that's a testament to this being actually pretty good for what it is, especially for the price point that you pay for it. But I remember at the time that 7 years ago, yeah, I really hated this one. I had great disdain for this. It's an oaky taste that's caramelized. And when you swallow it on the finish, you got that 1 out of 10 smoke on the throat there. When I say 1 out of 10, I'm talking about the intensity of it, which is quite light. You can taste it, but it's nothing that is going to divert you away and say, this is too strong or too intense. I don't like all this smoke. I don't want to deal with this. Pretty good. It's a light whiskey that you can intake with no fight. Pretty good. Now, what we are going to do is mix it up a little bit, because I said back 7 years ago that this one is more or less a mixer drink. Johnnie Walker is like this as well. Johnnie Walker is something from the United States that you can drink either as a mixer or straight. And now I'm saying this is more or less the same too. So let's put 3 ice cubes inside of a glass here. And what are we going to do? I don't know how much I poured inside of there, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to recycle this. Let's do 20 milliliters. Okay. And let's put that inside of here, that 20. And let's fill the rest with this sparkling lemon. And let's stir this up. All right, let's see what this highball tastes like. Smells pretty good. The taste is pretty good as well. Very lemon zesty type of highball. Listen, a majority of you people are not going to be drinking it this way. This was packaged. Where the hell is my package at? Listen, this is not the way most of you guys are going to be drinking this. Now, when I bought this back in 2020, this special edition packaging here that had this sparkling lemon drink inside of here from Kirin, the Japanese beverage brand, most of you guys will be making your highballs with sparkling water, but not with sparkling lemon. So, obviously, mine has a little bit of a different taste in it than what you're going to experience more than likely. But it's just that this was already packaged inside of here and came free with the whiskey that I bought. So I'm just using what was given to me for free. So that's what it is. But even with this lemon taste to it, it tastes pretty good. And I assume without the lemon taste, it's just going to taste more or less like a Scotch highball. Pretty good drink. Now what we are going to do is we're going to put this to the side and we are going to make a whiskey soda and see what that tastes like. All right, let's go at it again. We got our tumbler glass here. Let's go ahead and pour out 20 milliliters. I still got a little bit left inside of this Glencairn. Let's go ahead and pour out 20 milliliters of Johnnie Walker Red Label. Let me get some ice inside of this glass real quick. Two cubes ought to be enough. Let's put that 20 inside of there. We got our good old Coca-Cola here, original taste. Pop that one open for the first time. Let's fill this bad boy up. Let's go ahead and stir that just a little bit. And let's see what it is. Cheers, kampai. Very nice. This would be the Scotch equivalent to the Jack Daniels American version of it. And actually, I'm going to say that this is pretty good. Even though you can drink it straight, would I be drinking it straight? Probably not. If I'm going to go ahead and buy this with my hard-earned money and continue to buy this, I would buy this purely as a mixer drink because it works really well as a mixer drink. And on the occasion that I'm having like a house party or something like that, and I got a bunch of friends over and I'm making drinks for everybody, I'm not going to be using my most expensive whiskey to make things like this mixed with cola. So I would go ahead and get something like this and start making some of these cocktails with, if I'm not already using Jack Daniels to do it with. But this is a good substitute for that. I don't even remember the price I paid for this because I'm inside of Japan. I want to say Scotch Whisky and American whiskey are both pretty affordable inside of Japan because Japan owns so many whiskey distilleries in Scotland and in the United States that the price is just cheap, and there's a good trade thing going on with Japan, so it's pretty affordable. But I'm going to check the price right here on the internet and see which one is cheaper between Johnnie Walker Red Label and Jack Daniels in Japan, to see if you guys are throwing a party here in Tokyo, which one should you get? All right, an answer has been given to me. If you are living intra-Japan, if you pay for a 700 milliliter bottle of Johnnie Walker Red Label, you're going to be paying 1,850 Japanese yen for it, as opposed to if you buy 700 milliliters of Jack Daniels, you're going to be paying 2,460 yen for that. So definitely, if you're throwing parties inside of Japan and you're just looking for a bunch of booze just to get your guests drunk and tipsy or whatnot, and you're trying to satisfy them with the buzz, save some money and go ahead and get the Red Label because it's about 600 Japanese yen cheaper. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to save some coin here. And it's not too much of a compromise on taste. It's really good, especially when mixed. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. I thank you guys for watching. Salute to you wherever you may be out inside the world. Make sure that you guys drink responsibly. And as always, gentlemen, you guys know what to do. Keep it classy. I'm out.
I need a shot of the good stuff. Someone call Antamate. Why did you go to the other guy's YouTube channel? Why didn't you come to mine first? We've known each other many years, but this is the first time you've come to me for counsel about drinks. I can't remember the last time you invited me to your house for a dram of whiskey. But let's be frank here. You never wanted my friendship. I understand. You found paradise on YouTube. You watched a few videos. You had a few laughs. So you didn't need to watch a channel like mine. Now you come and say, Don Antamati, give me knowledge about spirits. Give me a drink. But you don't ask with respect. You don't offer friendship. You don't even think to call me Godfather. You come into my house on the day that I am to open the good stuff, and you ask for a shot. What have I ever done to make you treat me so disrespectfully? If you come to me in friendship, we'd be drinking together this very day. And if by some chance an honest man like yourself made enemies, then they would become my enemies, and then they would fear you. You want to be in my favor? I'm going to ask you to do a service for me. Hit the subscribe button and accept this drink as a gift on my day of relaxation.